Teaching people Unix, C, and Oracle. That's how my career got started. That led me from teaching students to corporate employees. Somebody who was part of my corporate C++ training reached out and said, "Why don't you help me incorporate a captive in India?" And that was for a Saudi based company which was doing its project for Philip Morris in Dubai, and started as a tech architect of sorts, and started working on a handheld computer, a small handheld computer which new generations will never relate to. I did that for a justifiable time, was responsible for the front end because the mobile was a front end. And at that time, there was an opportunity for me to move to Dubai, and I had certain family commitments, family, sisters, and such, which I had to attend to. So I decided to stay back. That's when I got a break into a company called Aspect Development. Aspect Development was part of inbound supply chain expertise. It had a captive in Bangalore. Joined as their 15th employee or so. When I went for the interview, the India software head was interviewing me, and he said, "Why don't you focus on the software development side?" And then I moved to another company called Symphony Services. Symphony Technology Group at that time acquired a company called Cambridge Technology Partners, and they set up a company in India called Symphony Services. It is a rechristened name, and joined there as a lead developer. I moved away from products to services, sort of a mindset was new to me, but it basically meant now that you're serving customers as a capability center. Through my career in Symphony Services, which was close to 11 years, I incubated and supported close to five different portfolios of Symphony Technology Group. So Symphony, even in those days, used to go and acquire companies, invest in companies, offshore it to India. And as part of that, I started my journey with the portfolio called Symphony RPM. It was a BI OLAP multidimensional engine. Was responsible on the backend server development. Then moved on to Symphony IRI, which is in the intermediary space. They buy retail CPG data and provide analytics insight, where my OLAP platform became a liquid data on which the solutions were built. Then moved on and created another portfolio called Symphony Advanced Media. Then I did something to do with Symphony Analytics. And then it came to a point, four of us who knew each other, why don't we do something on our own? That's when we incubated a startup called Rennie Analytics. It's a Texas based analytics boutique company which we incubated. I was responsible on the technology delivery from India. We were a 40-man team making a revenue of 5 million in its good days. We lost two good customers, and certain reorientation of business alignment made me look out. That's when I stepped out of that comfort of having built a startup and was doing pure play consulting for startups and such. There was a calling from Persistent System, which was again in the IT services space, especially for the product engineering services business, to come and help transition staffing to ownership sort of a model. Got involved, did that for 8 months, but driven by my own interest of what I need to do next, and seeing certain limitations of how not necessarily always revenue pressures comes in, supplements your innovative mindset. And that's when I stepped out again, went back to startup consulting. And that is when I got a calling from STG again, saying, "Subbu, we heard you are in the market, you're available. Would you be interested to come back into the foray?" And that's when one thing led to another. And the question was for which portfolio, and they said Wrike. Truth be told, and this is where I think we need to focus more on Wrike in terms of what its capability and its awareness, there is a disconnect. That is what awed me, saying, "Oh, a platform of this caliber, if they are building a offshore center of excellence in India," I said I should be part of it. And on 29th September, I onboarded Wrike as VP Engineering. Very excited to be part of Wrike, very excited to be part of the Wrike technology team. It feels great that the team welcomes you with a welcoming heart, and they are ever supportive. Clearly, services comes with one mindset, product comes with another mindset. Product revolves around innovation, competency, capability. And that's when I realized Wrike is a workflow collaboration platform, which is a product, SaaS based. And not just it is a product, I had an early understanding that a platform itself can only do so much. There are wonderful blueprints the company has invested in, and the blueprints gives value to every domain which adapts this product. The second thing is the capability is enhanced, empowered by this business blueprints, which can be applied on top of the platform to give bigger value to business. So one is the product mindset, a product by itself, and a product in a space of collaboration. I think the biggest lack in our society in general, and especially when it comes to businesses, is collaboration. I've explored analytics, I've explored data, I've explored retail, CPG, supply chain, but not workflow collaboration. So I said, this could be a good start, and an opportunity to incubate a team is another opportunity which I'm excited about. I like making connects with people, finding new competencies in people. It is like mining, right? I mean, you normally don't find precious metals so easily. We need to really mine and find the precious metals. I think that is how we need to build this initial team. Even though we are setting up a Wrike Center of Excellence in India, it is still a part of incubation within STG Labs, right? We still have the infrastructure support from STG Labs to set up this Center of Excellence, right? And STG Labs have been doing this for last 2.5 years or plus. And by that virtue, that process was set for somebody like me to onboard into a platform for me to get visible to Wrike. That was one. And from the right perspective, it is the day of onboarding itself, I received everything, whatever I need to start contributing, right? I was welcomed by a welcoming email, which had every information of what I need to enable myself. Of course, the infrastructure from the laptop and such was already provisioned from STG. But for me to get into an online system and start contributing and meeting up with my leadership team, my colleagues and such was enabled from day one. I had absolutely no lag from the time I onboarded to being productive, driven by how this ecosystem cohesively worked, which meant STG onboarded me, but STG kept it transparent to Wrike, and Wrike onboarded me at the same time. And by that virtue, I was fully enabled to start contributing from day one. Engineering team is extremely capable, driven by what they have achieved till date. Because when you look into a product with this level of complexity, in terms of the ability for it to seamlessly enable enterprises to collaborate, and the amount of integration it has, and the complexities around integrations and such, I think it's a very complex piece of product which would have had a very humble beginning to its starts to where it is today. And deep respect to each and everybody who would have contributed to this product to this scale and size today. We drive ourselves to achieve what needs to be promised to an end customer, correct? I mean, the OKR culture in terms of how we drive ourselves, I think it's visible in every aspect of engineering. Generally a very welcoming team, which is very open, very transparent, very willing to share their knowledge for a newbie like me to get empowered and enabled. Team is very capable. We just need to complement that team by building another capable team out of the India Center of Excellence. I think is the culture. Geographically, we might be different, but I think as long as culturally we are aligned in terms of what is that we need to achieve. And culturally, I'm not talking about geography as a culture. So I think today the way we are going to work initially, even when we are incubating our Center of Excellence team in India, is going to be a global team. So yes, our engineering team is predominantly in Prague, Nicosia, and Estonia, and the extended team is going to work out of India, driven by the culture of teamwork, which is an integral part of what we call out as our Wrike culture. I think it will enable us to perform. The second other aspect is clear communication, and transparent communication goes a long way. And that's another culture I have seen. It is not called out. I don't see anybody wasting anybody else's time having unnecessary meetings and such. Meetings are timed. Stand up is timed. If it's 10 minutes, it's 10 minutes. I have seen them finish it earlier but not take it longer. So we respect each other times. And in that cohesive mode, when we work, I think a geography separation will not add any challenge. we should still be as productive as ever. Bangalore is the IT capital of India, so I think that could be the reason why it is Bangalore. There is not a single company of varying size which does not have a presence in Bangalore. The presence is either direct or they have certain site offices in Bangalore, so that's given. It's the IT hub. Lot of competencies, lot of good schools to tap into and such. Environment itself is such, it's very pleasant. Everybody wants to be part of this climate and environment. People in Bangalore are also very welcoming of such. For reasons, there are a lot of other companies with technical skill set around what we need and such. It gives you a good ecosystem for us to look into competencies of what we need. It also gives you a good ecosystem to collaborate and network and grow. The IT export on the services side is close to 100 plus billion dollars is the number I recall. Industry is a growing industry. I think IT services, if I recall the number, I'm talking from memory, Anton, is around 8.3 or 8.5% growth year on year, which is good. We are not identified as a country where we have created innovation on the software side, right? If you really double click and look into companies which has created software products which are used at a global scale, I think there are very few to name. We serve them by virtue of technology enablement IT services. So the technical competency is there, but innovation in terms of softwares we would have built, which is making an impact at a global scale, I don't think there are many very to call out. So the vision is to create a center of excellence which excels in software development for one, plus comes with an innovative mindset to enhance this collaborative platform to the next generation and thereby win more customers. The second aspect, I'm not stopping myself as the center of excellence leader to say it should be limited to software development. India is a huge market. There are a lot of industries which suffers because of lack of collaboration. And if I can take our platform to those markets to adapt, and thereby that market giving their input for it to expand beyond its current functionality, I think is the good opportunity for us to leverage. I think there is a lack of collaboration between faculty, students, and the industry experts, right? Curriculums are isolated. Curriculums are not aligned with how industry expects the candidates to be or the students to be when they come out as enabled. And universities are working in isolation. If our own platform can be sold into this ecosystem, wherein it enables the university to empower the student better and gets the industry expert to contribute in that, I think the platform would have a good positioning to start with. What better than positioning the platform to a student community so that when they come out, they become our advocates in terms of branding our product, right? I think that's the short vision in terms of market. But I'm also not limiting. Yes, we are going to start as a co-engineering to start with. But as we gain traction and we come into some size, I want to work with our existing engineering team to take over certain set of ownership, which we can also deliver autonomously from India. Yes, everything around technology. We are on a very stable technology stack, top end of the stack. So it's all to do with the Java, Angular, React, which everybody resonates and relates to today. That is definitely one. But even beyond that, if I were to look at it, we are looking at, yes, we are looking at data engineers, we are looking at Salesforce engineers, we are looking at engineers for website development from an enterprise platform front. So that way, yes, we are not limited to engineering. We are looking for marketing folks. We are looking for marketer folks. We are looking for functional engineers too. So that way, it's a whole spectrum. It's not that it's only engineering which is creating a center of excellence in India for Wrike. That is not true. We are creating a center of excellence across all aspects of business because the talent pool is broad, it's big. But yes, getting the right talent pool to incubate in the beginning would be the key for us to achieve.